Can you stand up without using your hands? Do your legs feel heavy even after a whole day of doing nothing? Have you ever tripped and realized your body didn't catch you in time? I used to think strength was something you either had or didn't. Now I know better. I'm 74, and I didn't realize I was losing strength until it was almost gone. But the signs came much earlier. They just whispered when I was only listening for a scream. This video isn't just about aging. It's about the slow, invisible unraveling that happens to your body unless you know what to look for. Let me tell you what I missed, so maybe you don't. If this video made you stop and think, leave a comment and tell us your story. Every like, share, and follow helps us reach more people quietly losing strength without even knowing it. You're not alone, and with your support, neither are we. Thanks for following. Chapter 1. I couldn't stand up without my hands. It was a cold morning. I remember it well, not just for the wind shaking the trees outside my window, but for what happened when I tried to stand up. I was sipping my second cup of coffee, watching the leaves swirl, thinking about nothing in particular. Then I leaned forward, placed my hands on my knees, and pushed. I needed my hands to rise. It wasn't pain that held me down. It wasn't stiffness either. It was something quieter. My legs felt disconnected, like they were present but unwilling. I laughed to myself, just one of those mornings, I thought. But it happened again the next day, and the next. That's when I heard the word sarcopenia. It sounds clinical, like something from a textbook, but it means something heartbreakingly simple. As we age, we lose muscle mass. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, in layers, quietly. It starts in our 30s, though no one tells you that. You go about your life not noticing the 1% you lose each year. But one day, the 30% you've lost taps you on the shoulder or keeps you in your chair. We think of strength as a thing we had in our youth, something reserved for younger bodies. But strength isn't just about lifting weights or climbing stairs. It's about independence, balance, confidence. And when it goes, it takes more than muscle. It takes certainty. It takes dignity. I thought I was just getting older, but I was quietly getting weaker, and I didn't even know. Strength doesn't disappear overnight. It drips away in quiet moments we write off as laziness or fatigue. Until one day, you can't ignore it. The good news? It's not too late. That morning changed me. I started moving more. Standing without hands became a goal, a small one, but mine. So if you've ever felt your body pause where it used to spring, don't shrug it off. Notice it, honor it, and act. Because strength doesn't stay if we don't ask it to. Chapter 2. I didn't catch myself when I tripped. I was walking out to the mailbox when it happened. There was a crack in the sidewalk, a place I'd stepped over 100 times. My foot caught and I stumbled forward. It wasn't the stumble that scared me. It was that my body didn't react. I didn't throw my arms out. I didn't brace my core. I just stumbled, stiff as a board. That's when I started reading about proprioception. It's the sense of where your body is in space. It's how we keep balance, how we react without thinking. And it fades slowly with age. Reflexes slow down. Neural pathways become less efficient. Signals take longer to travel from your feet to your brain and back again. That half-second delay? That's the difference between catching yourself or crashing down. I didn't fall that day, but I realized if I had, I couldn't have saved myself. That knowledge changes you, makes you watch your feet more, makes you hesitate at stairs, makes you old. Later that week, it happened again, this time stepping off a curb. I paused mid-step, suddenly unsure of the ground below. It wasn't fear. It was something deeper, hesitation born of uncertainty. I learned that proprioception, your body's ability to know where it is, isn't just about balance. It's how you exist in space. As it fades, your brain must work harder to interpret movement, and that taxes everything else. Doctors say it's one of the first systems to quietly weaken with age. And no one talks about it. So now I practice. Balance drills. Slow. Walking. Barefoot standing. It's not much. But every time I catch myself with confidence, it feels like a victory. Because every fall you prevent is a fall you survive. And every step you take with awareness is a quiet act of resistance. I also started noticing how I moved around the house shuffling instead of stepping, holding on to furniture without realizing. These small behaviors weren't habits. They were signs, warnings from my body that something needed attention. When I mentioned it to my doctor, she nodded slowly. "We lose our edge quietly," she said, "but we can train it back." So now, I treat every step like a skill, not because I'm fragile, but because I want to stay strong. And that starts with noticing the cracks before they trip me again. If this video made you stop and think, leave a comment and tell us your story. Every like, share, and follow helps us reach more people quietly losing strength without even knowing it. You're not alone, and with your support, neither are we. Thanks for following. Chapter 3. I was always tired, even when I did nothing. Fatigue crept in like fog. At first, it was just after long walks. Then it was during grocery trips. Then, even after a full night's sleep, I'd wake up feeling like I hadn't rested at all. I used to say I was just tired. Now I know it was something deeper. Mitochondria, those tiny engines inside our cells, slow down with age. They produce less energy. Our bodies burn fuel less efficiently. Our muscles don't recover the way they used to. And that weakness? You can feel it, even when you do. Nothing. I'd sit for hours and still feel like I'd run a marathon, not sore, not in pain, just drained. This isn't laziness. It isn't depression. It's biology. A slow fading of our internal power lines, fewer sparks, less current. I wasn't tired from doing too much. I was tired from quietly decaying inside. It changed how I moved, how I thought, even how I spoke. I found myself reaching for words, forgetting names. Not because of memory loss, but because my brain was tired too. Doctors call it central fatigue. A kind of exhaustion that starts in your muscles but reaches your mind. It makes everything feel heavier: conversations, decisions, even joy. I started reading about ATP, the molecule responsible for energy transfer in the body. It turns out, aging doesn't just slow us down, it slows down the fuel we need to feel alive. That changed my mindset. I stopped blaming myself and started listening to my body. Now I walk more slowly, but with intention. I eat to nourish. Mitochondria, not just hunger. I build routines to create rhythm because fatigue feeds on chaos. And I learned this. Fatigue isn't always a flaw. Sometimes it's a message. A whisper from your cells. Take care of me, or I can't take care of you. And when I listened, my body began to whisper less and support more. Final reflection, you don't have to wait to collapse. The signs were there, needing my hands to stand, not reacting in time to a stumble, feeling tired even when I rested. I didn't notice them for what they were until the day I tried to lift my grandson and felt my back give out. Strength doesn't just help us move, it helps us live. It helps us protect others. It helps us stay free. But decline doesn't arrive like a thief in the night. It moves like a shadow. You only notice how dark it's gotten when it's already surrounding you. If you're watching this, you still have time. Time to move. Time to rebuild what's been quietly slipping away. Don't wait to collapse. Don't wait for the fall to remind you how far you've fallen. Start moving. Start lifting. Start noticing. And send this to someone who needs to hear it. Most people don't know they're getting weaker until it's too late to get strong again. You don't need a gym membership or a perfect plan. You need awareness, a willingness to take the next step literally. It could be a 5-minute walk, one flight of stairs, a few bodyweight squats next to the kitchen table. Small acts build strength. But only if you begin them. I thought aging meant surrender. Now I see it means adapting, shifting from reckless strength to intentional movement, from ignoring pain to understanding its message. Today, I don't chase my younger self. I honor him by staying upright, steady, and engaged in the body I still have. So ask yourself, are you waiting for a dramatic wake-up call? Or will you listen to the whispers now? Because your body is always talking, the question is, are you ready to hear it? Every day you delay, your body adapts to stillness. Muscles learn to shrink. Bones learn to thin. Balance learns to fail. But the opposite is also true. Move, and your body remembers. Push, and it responds. Challenge it gently, and it grows. It's not too late to begin. It's only too late if you never do. So move now, not for vanity, but for vitality. For the life you still have left to live.